This is a series of tutorials on the LCMS system that will allow you to modify, update, and create templates for the LCMS system. This first tutorial will be an overview of what the templates are, how they work, and what to expect. Start by opening the folder where the templates are. All right, we see that there are two types of documents here. I'll just highlight them for you there. A template, which is macro enabled, the extension DOTM, and the other is a macro enabled document, which extension .docm. The difference between these two is essentially code in the document itself. The website will use DOCM, which has a reference back to the DOTM. For future reference, I will use template and macro-enabled document instead of the extension, just so you know what I'm talking about. You'll notice that when we download a document from the website, it'll come down in the form of a document with macros enabled, not the template with macros enabled. Alright, getting started then. For this purpose, I will start by opening a template. The parent template for this is the DOTM, which will always be stored on the server but not accessible by the users. Alright, and if I open this up, I'll just click open here to start Word and load the template. Alright, once the template is loaded, it essentially builds itself, getting the document information panel from the server and loading the macros in the back end. And you see now it's trying to establish all of the pieces of the template itself. And there's the document with the customized ribbon. And then in a minute it'll just open here the document information panel, which is loaded from the server. And there we have the document information panel. Alright, I'll just expand this a little bit to show you that it is complete. Okay, so now the pieces of the template that we have. We have the panel, which is the top piece here, which has the functions for the template itself. We have the document information panel, which essentially holds the metadata for the contract. And then of course we have the contract body. Inside contract type pull down, we have the types of contracts. As far as I know, that these are essentially your templates. We've combined all of the templates into one template that has many parts. Each one of these items in the pull down are essentially macros. For those of you who don't know what a macro is simply a recording of actions taken by the user so that it can be replicated by a single click or a single action. And what that means to us is that when we click an item inside this drop down, I'll click lease, and you'll see that the document builds. If I scroll down here a little bit, waiting for the document to build, there we go, we've seen that the document has indeed built. And it's got all the pieces. Now, how does that happen? Well, essentially what it does is the lease, like I said, these pieces are all macros. And what the macro will do, the macro will, piece by piece, call items inside the clause library to build a complete document. Now, I've opened up the clause library, which is essentially just Microsoft Word building blocks. And if I scroll down here to legal clauses, you can see that these are all the quick parts that we have. Let me expand that a little bit so we can see what we're dealing with. Alright, you see that we have quick parts that are essentially lease and name. And I believe that this template has brought in the lease named quick parts. And that's essentially how it works. And what I'll do is I'll show you in code, although this might be a little high level or a little low level for us and maybe not necessarily needed, but I'll show you how it works anyway. Here we have the Developer tab. Now to get the Developer tab, everybody has it built into Word. And all we have to do is we click the main button in Word, we go to Word Options, and then we'll see Popular item inside the left menu, and then if you scroll down here you'll see Developer tab in the ribbon. All you have to do is make sure that that's checked. And I'll check it again, click OK, and the Developer tab should show up for you. Now when you click it, you'll see quite a few items that will pertain to templates and or documents relative to what we're working with. If I open up macros, again, which I said that looking back, all the contract types are actually macros. So I'll go back to the Developer tab, open up the macros, and if I scroll down, I should see lease. There's lease there. I'll click lease, and I'll click edit. What this is going to do is going to open up a Visual Basic editor, and we can see here all of the items that have happened to record this one macro. Looking up now at the item, let me just scroll up here. We can see that we have certain sections that are built in, and you can see here quick part, Article 1, Article 2, Article 3, Article 4. Now these items were dragged in and the macro was built that way, and I will show you how to create that in a later tutorial.